Hi everyone, I'm Josh and welcome to Josh Wright Piano TV. Thank you so much for joining me today. I wanted to talk about 5 steps for dealing with haters or negativity online. This is a subject I have a lot of personal experience with all the videos I've published over the years. And this is something I think everyone comes across at some point in their musical journey or artistic journey, whatever you might be doing online. This is not specific for musicians. This can be applied to any field. I'll obviously be tailoring it towards musicians because this is what this channel is all about, is piano development, but this can be applied anywhere. The 5 steps are perspective, reason, focus, higher purpose, and stoicism. I'm going to go into more detail in all of those areas in just a moment. This was spurred on by an email from one of the members of my paid courses, the VIP Masterclass series, where members will write in their requests and I will cover a request in a weekly video throughout the month. Before we dive into her email and get into the steps, if you are getting value from this video, I would greatly appreciate it if you could do me a favor and subscribe and like this video. Just help spread the information to more people, which is the quest of this channel, to help as many musicians and music lovers as possible. So thank you for doing that. I really appreciate it. So I'm going to keep her name anonymous, and the reason I'm covering this on YouTube is I thought this was a valuable enough topic. It wasn't niche enough for the VIP Masterclass series that I just wanted to share it there. I wanted to share it with as many people as possible in hopes that something I've gone through can help. I've noticed that other people talking about how they've dealt with haters and negativity have often helped me, so I hope to pass that forward, pay it forward today. She said, I'm reaching out to you as a friend. I was defending a friend who was playing in public and got interrupted. I feel that it's the norm in the music world and a show of respect to musicians to truly listen to them in a similar manner that we don't clap in between movements during concerts. He was playing Chopin's Nocturne in B-flat minor, Opus 9 number 1, and some people in the audience cut him off and asked him to play another pop song. The Nocturne happens to also be a piece that was portrayed in a movie. I received some mean comments that made me feel uncomfortable after standing up for what I believe in, safeguarding Chopin's work. It's disheartening to me that modern generations not only can't recognize the original composer who actually wrote it, but the internet is being used as a place for criticism, attack, and hate. I shouldn't let this bother me, but I can't help but feeling down. As an experienced pianist, how do you deal with negative comments online? Thank you in advance. So thank you for that question. You know who you are watching this video, but I wanted to go over those 5 steps. Again, perspective, reason, focus, higher purpose, stoicism. These are all things that have helped me. So let's dive in. Step number 1, perspective. Realize that hate comments usually come from a place of weakness, egotism, self-loathing, or self-consciousness being projected onto others. I could name so many examples of hateful comments. I don't sit and stew about them. You just remember them. I have a pretty good memory. And just silly things. One person, this is a funny example, after my Rock 3 performance, Rachmaninoff Third Piano Concerto, which I felt went pretty well, he wrote me an email and said, I've gone through the score and marked up a bunch of notes for you of things you really need to improve on. And I was like, oh, brother, I said, do you mind sending me a recording of your playing of the Rachmaninoff Third Piano Concerto so I can reference it? And he said, well, I don't really play very advanced music. That's a good example of egotism or projecting onto others. I've had other people say, my paid videos, like pro practice videos, they're complete trash. How could you ever charge for something like this? Well, I've also paid a lot of money to acquire a lot of that knowledge, spent a lot of blood, sweat, and tears acquiring that knowledge. And, you know, I always like to listen to constructive criticism If there's something like the pedal cam that I've incorporated into all of the pro practice videos, I vowed I'd never have a pedal cam because it's so ugly, to see my feet the whole time. But it provided such a good solution rather than me having to dictate all the pedal markings. So I'm not saying that you just ignore everyone and that if anything is critical that you never listen to it. Constructive criticism is one thing. Needless or hateful criticism is another, and you have to be able to see that perspective of where it's coming from. You have to weigh the source. We're going to get into this a little bit later in one of the other steps, but choose who you listen to and realize that that person might be going through similar difficulties. They might just be having a terrible day. I think we've all probably said things that we regret when we were having a bad day. So just keep that perspective, and that immediately takes down some of the intensity and piercing quality that negativity and hate can have on you. Number 2, reason. Reason with yourself. How would listening to this person actually improve your life? I like to try to think of advice as an object that I could hold in my hand. And I can say, is this advice good? Is it bad? Is it helpful? Is it hurtful? Is it going to be constructive in any way? And you really have to weigh, is this going to improve my life? And if it's not, discard it. Advice and comments, if you let them, feel like they're part of your being and they like seep into you and you can't get rid of them. But if you think of it as an object, you can get rid of it. Just throw it away. So always ask yourself, how would listening to this advice help me? And if it's not going to help me and enrich my life, and if it's not important to me and my morals and my values, we live in a society of moral relativism. Everyone's morals are relative. It could be based on religion. It could be based on political views. So it's all relative to the person. So don't let someone else's morals and principles be projected onto you and have you feel lost. You need to have, I'm not saying you can't have an open mind. I think that's one of the most important things you can do, but make sure that you're grounded in your own morals and principles so that when you receive advice, it can add to it, but you're not just this empty vessel that is being swayed by the wind this way or that. That's a very dangerous place to be in, especially in your musical journey, because two teachers can have great advice and they're completely conflicting ideas. Both of them could actually be good advice. It could just tear you up inside. So make sure you're grounded in your principles, what you want to do in your musical life, and reason with yourself about how something could help or hurt you. Step number 3, focus. Focus on the people that will help you in your life. Listen to them, choose them wisely. I have a group of 4 people that I listen to musically, and just a few others that I'll listen to with life advice. My wife, and then my 3 teachers, Susan Dolmeyer, Sergey Babayan, Logan Skelton. If those people say something to me about my music, even if it's harsh or direct, I will listen, and I never let it hurt my feelings because I know they care about me. I know that they have my best interest at heart. Some random YouTube comment that spews hate at you, that's not your inner circle. That's not someone who cares about your best interests. They might actually be trying to hurt you or bring you down, or they might be trying to siphon off of your popularity or trying to boost themselves up. Maybe they're a narcissist. So who knows what that is, but don't focus on that negativity. Choose your inner circle. We've actually talked about this in Dealing with Judgment from Others. That video, I believe it was called Dealing with Judgment from Others, and choosing very wisely an inner circle of people that you listen to. And it doesn't have to be someone you know. If there's someone online that you really respect and look up to, I have a few people in that category that I've never met, that I'll listen to their podcast or that I've read their books, that I really respect what they say. So I'll listen to them and I'll let their ideas in. But I don't just take everyone's ideas, and I did that for a time where I would consider everyone's ideas and say, should I do? And it really can destroy you and your confidence. So be very careful with that about who you listen to. So focus your attention on the advice from those that matter most to you. Step number 4, have a higher purpose in mind. You're going to get a lot of hate and criticism, but if you have that higher purpose in mind, this is extremely powerful. You will keep at something that gets very difficult. You will do things that make you uncomfortable for the greater good. One of the things I hate doing, I hate it, is running Facebook ads and YouTube ads. But I do it because I know it will help reach those who need my material and my paid courses or my free stuff on YouTube, whatever it might be. And I've received several emails saying that. Thank you so much for running that Facebook ad. I'd never heard of you before. I'm now part of your Pro Practice Lifetime Access course, and this course has completely changed my life. It's changed my musical trajectory. Do you know how much hate I got on those ads? Whether it's, look at how ugly his hair is, or this guy has no idea what he's saying, or people correcting my grammar, or saying, oh, this pianist is 1,000 times better. Look, I'm not professing to be the greatest pianist in the world by any means. Everyone, it's all subjective anyway. If I say my favorite pianist is Sergei Babayan, people will say, oh, this person's better than he is. And I'm like, I don't think that, but okay, that's fine. You think that Christian Zimmerman's the best, or Martha Argerich, or Volodos, or sometimes it's their brother that they think is the best pianist in the world, so, or their sister. So just remember, do things for a higher purpose. We really cannot please everyone. Remember why you're making music. Also remember, this is a point that I learned later on, probably in my mid-20s, that if you're pleased with your own performance, most likely it's going to please others. If you're not pleased with your performance, who knows if it's going to please others? Most of the time it actually probably will. But I've had a lot of performances where I'm like, that was awful. And people are like, that was amazing. But I don't let the negativity hit me. And I try not to let the positivity hit me too hard either. So people are praising you all the time, you can get a big head. You can't let that happen. Just like if people are criticizing you, you can't let that get you down. Try to remain neutral and just listen to that core group of people that we talked about in step number 3. If you're making decisions based on others' opinions, you won't be convinced of those. If you're not convinced of it, it won't be convincing in your music, because someone can share an opinion with you of someone you greatly respect, or you're in a master class and that person shares a great idea with you. That's their idea, but you incorporate it. It's very convincing because you are convinced of it. But if you're putting a bunch of ideas into your music that you're not convinced of, the result probably isn't going to be very convincing to the audience anyway. Audiences can sense conviction. Sorry, that was a little bit of a tongue twister there. So be convicted in your ideas that you're sharing. Finally, a little bonus tip is practice stoicism. Read some books on stoicism, listen to podcasts on stoicism. I've done that. I don't know. I probably have just barely scratched the surface of stoicism, but I've really enjoyed the writing and listening about the authors Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus. There's one that has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but Seneca wrote about practicing poverty. So as a practice, he would eat just the most bland food and wear the most coarse clothing and deprive himself of all luxuries. And not only did that make him appreciate the luxuries in his life, but and just like basic benefit in life, but it also made him realize that materialism is not the source of happiness. I know I'm getting a little off topic here, but that lesson, practicing poverty, practicing not letting others' comments, I mentioned this a little earlier, practicing not letting others' comments, positive or negative, have an effect on your conviction of your own self-worth, of your own talent, of your own journey, whether you're just starting out or you're a seasoned pro. that stoic philosophy, that stoic vision has really helped me to, be stronger, not be a little baby, and let my feelings get hurt so easily. I'm not saying you can't feel, and it's not that you're going to become this cold-hardened person. It's that you deal with things. You don't react to things. You process calmly. And when you can do that, that will not only help you in your musical journey and your confidence journey, it will help you on stage a lot, because you'll be able to be in a more neutral state. Your heart's not going to be pounding as hard, like, oh, I really hope this person likes it. I know this person's in the audience. They make me really nervous. It's going to be a more calm, centered, stable experience. So I hope these tips can help you. Again, perspective, reason, focus, higher purpose, and stoicism. Those are all things that have helped me. And the last little bonus tip is work out. Do some strength training. Do some resistance training. Tax that central nervous system, because that has provided so much mental clarity in my life. I've worked out consistently now, doing heavy weightlifting for about 5 years now. And I'm not entering any bodybuilding competitions. I don't even look close to good enough for that type of stuff. It's just a practice that I do that helps me clear my mind. It helps to keep my body healthy, and it's really helped in my stamina with performing as well. So just a little bonus tip that can help you. I find that when you're working out as well, it can help you process emotional content better, for whatever reason that is. It's quite interesting how that works. But I hope these have been helpful. Again, if you've gotten any value out of this or any of my other videos, please consider subscribing and liking this video. I'll leave a few links for my paid courses in the comments section below if you'd like to go even deeper in your studies. I'll leave a link for a free webinar containing 10 of my favorite tips to help take your playing to a higher level. These are tips I use every day in my teaching and my own practice. And finally, I'll leave a link for my gear kit, all the lighting, microphones, and other equipment I use in this studio to make these videos, to teach private lessons, and more. I hope that helps. Have a great week. Good luck in your practice sessions.